Yeah.
What about my sweat equity?
Howdy, toddy.
My sweat equity.
God almighty.
My sweat equity.
I did that, and I'm sorry. Damn it.
Shouldn't have brought it up.
Sweat equity.
What about my sweat equity?
So I sound all right.
Yeah.
We
Sound amazing.
We're doing this, man. I was thinking about morning radio. We're doing this Monday morning. The day we try to have one Monday and Thursday now, right? And so,
Yeah.
you know, it's one of those things where we are not morning radio guys. Because how bad would that suck to get up? You have to get up at like.
We could do it.
You could do it, but I guess you're on that schedule for a while. I'd have trouble with it for.
It would mess up my workout routine.
Yeah, you'd have to get up at 3.
I was up at 3:30 today, baby.
Well, they got to get in by 6 for drive time, I think. But you got to be like ready to go.
Yeah, there's no like working out before. You're doing show prep beforehand because
Oh.
they actually have like, pre-production topics to talk about.
More or less, yeah. I think you do it
At least
after.
a rundown.
You do it after. If you do any bits, you're gonna. I like doing the pre-prep right after like an episode of this. I go the next episode. We'll talk about this. That's part of the creative process I've kind of been implementing
Yeah?
a little bit.
Are you going to fill me in on it anytime?
Well, not for this show, but I'm saying like if one were to do that.
It is better when I just don't know.
Well, that you are the voice of a lot of people just doesn't nerd out on Harvard Business Review
Yeah.
stuff like I do.
I'm playing a character of the everyman stupid guy.
Well, you're wearing glasses inside.
Okay,
if
I'm
you're
wearing-
watching on YouTube and Facebook.
I'm wearing glasses inside for a reason because I'm running the board, I'm switching angles, and I'm doing all that. I don't want to start, taking dumps on our producer, John Paul. So I
But
won't.
I hear a but
But
coming
he's not here. So.
at
We just had a-
6:07 a.m.
Yeah, well, we had a snafu yesterday, and, we had to get one in today.
Here's the important lesson out of it, because I was like, what can we take? We recorded one yesterday with a friend of the program, comedian Matt Fernandez, and the audio is jacked up. And so we were like, uh-oh, we got to do one. Okay, I guess we'll just do
Pronto,
it. We'll do it in
tonto.
the morning
All right.
before it would get published anyway,
Right.
typically. What time do you set it to schedule out?
Right about now.
Right about now. Because I notice when I'm on iTunes, a lot of my favorite podcasts, they all have a Monday episode usually.
Yeah,
Church of What's Happening Now,
yeah.
WTF, Corolla. A lot of them all have their Monday morning one, and then we're timing it out perfectly where ours is sitting on top of it.
Yeah, I've been messing around with the release times. I was going to get your thoughts on that. What do you think? I mean, because in my mind, it's like, all right, if you put it out at, say, 7:30 a.m., it's a business podcast.
Yeah.
People go into business stuff. It's a good time. They're getting ready. Oh, that pops up. Ooh, download that. And boom, boom, boom. I don't know.
I think
I'm not paying for the market research.
a lot of people might have it like, I don't know if you have it where it downloads automatically
Yeah,
for you.
I definitely do.
but
For my own show,
I think
yeah.
that's the default. I'm trying to go through the paces of like, what do most people have if they have like Apple Podcast app or iTunes or Laughable or Spotify or what else were we on? Google
Yeah.
Play.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have it set to download probably before they leave their place, so download on Wi-Fi kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because you live in a big city, you're in a bus, you're in the subway.
Yep.
You're sitting in your car
Can't
forever in
always get
LA.
that. Yeah.
I would say, it's probably good that, I don't know, if you're looking at impression, because the way I was looking at it was like ours sits on top ahead of all the other ones, almost
Also
like
top of mind.
King of the Mountain.
Yeah.
However, if you're a business listener or you're like a business person that gets up early like you do to work
Right.
out, they probably want it.
It might
for
be
that.
nice to wake up to it.
So I don't know. We can play with it. It's always an A/B test, and I always like to make bets, and that's why the work we're doing at Tokabaga as like consulting is kind of like is very similar to like Freakonomics kind of stuff. You're just kind of making bets on behavior
Mm.
in an advertising or kind of engagement kind of thing.
I need more explanation.
So
Okay.
what is economics really? right? It's the study of how like humans behave in a society, essentially.
Sure.
In a way.
Yeah.
Freaking-
The social contract of money, really.
Well, so-
everybody buys into this thing being worth something.
Right, and we always talk about a thing Marcus Lemonis says, not Marcus Aurelius, Marcus Lemonis, the prophet. He always says, his thing is all about like it's just basic psychology.
Right.
So we're kind of mixing the two things together there in those two definitions. You have basically how humans are going to behave in the economy, and you have, when you really break down business, it's really about just basic psychology 101, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're doing on call us an advertiser or marketing company, marketing agency in this role, is we're trying to predict behavior without doing market research a lot of the time.
Sure.
We don't have the budget.
Relying on our own kind of A/B tests or just whimsy.
We handle startup, nano, micro, small to medium business, whatever you want to, whatever you classify.
What's the difference between a nano and a micro business?
No one uses nano or micro. I do, but
we got micro machines.
Well, because everybody's definition's different. So you got startups that are just like most people that walk in here that are a startup have no budget and and basically don't even have the idea fleshed out.
Right.
And so that a lot of that is us extracting that out of them, almost like a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
You're not really doing much in that first session, just going, "What do you think that is?"
Yeah.
And then sometimes you just need someone to ping pong stuff off of.
Yeah, they think we have the answers. It's just we got to get the question first.
I go, do you know what a mission statement is? I basically just copy what my teacher did to me.
Sure. I mean, there's a reason they do it that way.
Right.
There's some things that, you and I, we like to rage against the machine, against the, normalcy of things. But there's a lot of things that have been flushed out for a long time that they do it a certain way for a reason. And that's one of them, just because it keeps showing results.
Like I'm making a to-do list right now because
good.
this is what I do early in the morning. But it's related because I know after this what I need to do. I have been doing a piss poor job of marketing this podcast organically. My MailChimp account got shut down for probably too many bounced emails on the initial one because I just added a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But if you're out there, you're a startup, you're trying to do your own brand, email marketing is still number one.
Yep.
So when you import your first set of emails, try to go through them and
scrub it.
Yeah, kill all the. It's called scrubbing. Yeah, kill all the, replies if you're exporting out of exporting anybody you've emailed from your Yahoo account.
Yeah.
You can't do it in Gmail
your old
that
college
easily.
professors and things. Well, actually, they might be.
Yeah. Keep them. Any human that you think will actually have the email, but if you get too many people that hate you and they unsubscribe, that's going to be a red flag too.
Get rid of the people you have beef with.
Get off
from your email list.
Get off Constant Contact because that shit sucks.
I don't know what is Constant Contact. I've heard it.
It's what AOL is to Gmail to me. So Gmail's MailChimp.
Okay.
AOL is Constant Contact.
Oh, so it's just a shitty email marketing.
Version.
Okay.
But they got their market penetration early. So
yeah,
market penetration. Nice.
Dig against the
There's
table.
a boner that hits the table.
I'm not doing it again.
If you have a Squarespace site, I forgot about this. They made their own product, email marketing product.
Oh yeah, we need to talk about that.
We can just do it from the sweatequitypod.com.
We'll link it straight from the blog posts. I bet.
Mm-hmm.
We probably could put that on cruise control.
Yeah, and I don't think they have. And a year ago, they introduced it to agencies like us. In the squared circle.
Right.
Because basically we're guinea pigs.
Yeah.
For any new product there.
Right. Well, we're Squarespace Circle members.
We should have like a Scientology level higher than it. We should be like.
I know. It's just, what do you get to be you're in a Squarespace Circle, you get an email once a week with some jabroni's new banner image.
Hey, shout out to Jason Barone. He'll answer some emails. He's like number one Squarespace guy that I'm like, this guy knows everything, but I think he got plucked corporate wise. There's like 5 people that answer all the questions on their message boards.
Oh, yeah.
But it's good. Look, we didn't have that before. I still find some stuff there.
Well, yeah, but they did a Blue Balls release where they were like, email marketing's coming out, and then you go to do it, it's like it was
It was garbage.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even functional. It was routing to the wrong links and all this. It was like, okay,
and
why
that's,
not?
That's why we're not the first movers. We're even before that. I forget the class.
Beta testers,
kind of something like that. Yeah, alpha. I think alpha.
Yeah. I mean, actually, now that I think about it, having the Squarespace circle, we do get some interesting.
We get a discount.
Well, we get a discount. But in terms of like building a site itself, we get the picture transitions that are built in that might not be there for everybody. Like there's stuff that's actual features that you could get access to ahead of time, but they also might not work great.
Well, it's still behavior, right? Mm-hmm. So they know we're gonna check. It's all behavior. It breaks down to that. So they know that they made some exclusive. This company, Squarespace, made an exclusivity kind of thing, right? Mm-hmm. Where, hey, you do more than 3 sites, which is a low barrier to entry, honestly.
Exactly.
We've probably done 150 in the last, I don't know, 2.5 years or something like that.
Right.
And it's like, hey, we should be, come on, top level, top shelf.
I mean
upper deck.
Yeah, my list is ridiculous. It's just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
Yeah. So it's like when you log in, you're saying?
Yeah.
When you just have so many contributor sites
right.
and so many sites you own. But I don't want to get into that's kind of only exciting for us two to talk about. But basically what they go is like if you are a Whole Foods shopper, you're going to probably get some discount on something they're trying out, like buying Whole Foods on Amazon, right?
Sure.
You're a frequent flyer. They're going to use you as a beta or alpha or beta test to do it because you're probably going to be the most reliable feedback.
Yeah. Did we talk about how my wife tried to do the Amazon Whole Foods thing?
I think you told me off air.
Well, real quick, my wife was like, "Oh, she got a gift card or something like to a promotional gift card."
Yeah.
And you order the food, and she wanted to get meats and these different things, but they have yet to fill an order completely, right? But if they don't have what you want, this has been a trend, and it probably won't stick around. That they just give you something close, and they don't charge you for it.
Right.
And then my cheap-ass wife, it then turns into a game of, what do I think they're not going to have at the store?
Right.
So
it's a.
What do you mean you're out of lamb shanks? It's like,
they're going to be out of lamb shanks.
Right.
You're like,
fine, I'll take the fillet.
Right.
I'll take it for free. Fine.
It's a lateral move. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Really, but you're getting. So you're spending the same amount no matter what. You just
you're getting free food.
Oh, that's right.
Like if it's not filled, like they don't charge you for it, but then you get something on top of it.
Another reference.
She actually did not say, "I'm going to try and do this," but I called her out. I was like,
"It's subconscious.
To do that?
It's subconscious." Well, a movie reference I tried to bring up last week off air was Punch Drunk Love, and
yeah,
but
this
is kind of similar. You don't remember the beginning of the movie. Sandler is, and this is a real life story, a guy that figured out how to game this system of buying pudding. He bought all this fucking pudding
for airline miles.
Yeah. And he figured out that whatever it is for, let's say every 3 packs of pudding you buy, he was getting a value of like $10. So it was like $3 for $10 worth of airline miles or something like that. So he just went to every store and bought all this fucking pudding and then cut out everything and then sent it in.
Why do we like those stories so much? There's another one where a guy bought the lifetime ticket in like 1972 that they were like, it was like $200,000, and the guy fucking ran it into the ground.
Right. If you were really next to the guy, if you're like that guy's son, and like you had to go with him and buy all this pudding and shit, you'd be like, "Dad, you have Asperger's."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No,
But from a distance, we're like, "Hey, good for you. You really stuck it to him,
It's
buddy."
a big fuck the man kind of thing, and it was an obscure story that really only in that movie, which wasn't a huge movie.
Was that a part of the movie?
Yeah.
Okay. I obviously did not remember Punch Drunk Love.
But Philip Seymour Hoffman in it is like, he's worth watching the whole movie.
I love when you do the thing that you try and convince
me Mattress Man.
More of the movie that I haven't seen.
Yeah, that's a dad move. And so what I'm saying is we like that because, hey, so F the system. Someone actually followed the rules, because we don't believe some of those things work.
Right.
Right. So there's a weird. Not. We don't really trust these promotions a lot of the time.
Yeah.
That's on a corporate level. The end user doesn't know, if this McDonald's Monopoly game is actually legit.
Right.
Like, do you know anybody that's won anything on that?
No, there's no boardwalks.
But
they do not
a billion people. You know so many people that love McDonald's Monopoly. Like,
oh, that is a great promo. I mean, it is like, I want to go to McDonald's and buy French fries
Right.
to get the. I mean,
Oh,
I know it's all bullshit.
But you know who wins? I think in that is
Employees.
guys who travel a lot because it's regional tabs a lot of the time.
Yeah, but it's still luck of the draw.
No, it's still luck of the draw. But I think in a gaming rules, whatever, you still have to have a certain amount put out there. And
Right.
so if you live in one area, you live in Kalamazoo, Michigan, you're going to get Marvin Gardens, the yellow one, but you're not going to get in the other yellows. There's going to be a very small amount of yellows.
You'll get two out
Right,
of the three,
right.
or like you'll be one. There's always the one that's hard to get, and then
So
the
I
other
heard-
ones there's a million.
Well,
of
so
them.
I heard the traveling guys, because they have to allot a certain amount to make it a fair game or something like that. Like you go on Jeopardy. My friend works on Jeopardy. She was telling me, like, she's like one of the corporate attorneys. She's like, oh, dude, there's so many rules when you sign that. Like,
What, to be a contestant?
yeah, because of that another movie that's really good called Quiz
Quiz Show.
Yeah,
I do
that
know
was
that.
a real, but
Yeah.
that was real shit.
Yeah.
So you try to game it like,
Or like the guy on the Pressure Luck.
but that he didn't
money.
cheat.
No, he didn't cheat.
He
He
just
just had
figured
great
out the
timing.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Whammies.
that was one that was like, in retrospect, they're like, oh, that's so
Oh.
obvious when he gets it 40 times in a row.
Oh, we shouldn't have this on just the same schedule of
Yeah.
beeps. Because, if you did sit down and watch it and kind of back out, you're like, oh, this clearly has a pattern.
Oh, you could record it and just, go through and mark it down, make a little piece of paper.
It had to be like back in the day when you didn't have, when you had like Betamax or whatever.
Yeah.
And not VHS. So it's harder to kind of,
I guess. I don't know.
or everybody's coked out of their mind when that show came about. Because
Yeah.
what the fuck is a whammy?
Yeah.
What does any of that have to do with anything?
Everything was a good idea on Coke.
So, well, there you go. More behavior, right? So you can kind of blame stuff on early '80s. You can kind of blame it on what were people doing,
Right.
okay? Or
Cocaine.
late
Lots
'80s. You had Reaganomics. You had in that Reaganomics era was
Don't do
just
drugs.
right, and so that had a backlash. That was a negative,
Mhm.
right?
Big time for me, at least.
It was a negative sum though, right? The more they pushed,
Oh, yeah.
the more drugs people did. Now, it's not 1-to-1 correlated, but it is that thing of like you're not helping the campaign by just saying no is like the fucking weakest
Right.
message of all time.
I hate that. Just
Or
say
dare.
any. Yeah. It's just like, oh, how about maybe we have a discussion about it?
Well, that's
Let's
zero,
talk about it.
It's zero tolerance.
Right.
Tolerance. So it's telling everybody, hey, don't think,
Exactly.
don't use any discretion.
Just trust us.
Right.
Marijuana is going to cause you to rape people.
And
Big time.
Whoa. Okay.
That's where they were going
Well,
with it. That's
that-
how extreme they were. And it's just like, what?
Well-
I mean, have you seen Reefer Madness?
I was going to say that's that, right? That was Hearst that made that up.
William Randolph Hearst?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because he had the hemp.
But that
He
that
didn't want the hemp because
movie,
he's a publisher.
Yeah, that movie in itself, set the tone for an entire generation who then came in with that basically a racist attitude to get rid of it, and then
Mexicans are smoking reefer.
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah,
It was a big Mexican thing, too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, marijuana is a Mexican name.
Oh, yeah,
Or
yeah. It's
it's
not
a-
even the real. That sounds like the real name of it.
Right. It's not though. It's I don't even think.
It's called Schw, guys.
I don't even think it's like
Did you
the
know that?
actual plant.
The real one's called Schw.
No.
It's called Nasty Regs you get from your buddy
Yeah.
Milo.
No, they would. Yeah, they put the Hispanic spin on it so that the white people would hate it more.
Huh. I didn't know that. I didn't know that was like a brand name. Like, that's probably second to the swastika
Right.
as the
Rebranding.
the biggest rebrand of all time.
In a bad way.
Well, because a lot of people don't know that's the Indian sign of peace.
Yeah.
There's a swastika, and you look at it and you're like, oh, it kind of makes sense because it's symmetrical, and it's like we have one on our air vent for some reason up here that you cleaned
No,
off.
I cleaned it. Now it's just a plus sign.
I still see it.
course you do.
But
that is gone.
I say that just to shock some people that I think aren't paying attention in meetings. They want to talk about
my bad.
rebrands.
Did I mess up your?
No, I don't know. Not the actual air vent swastika we had. We just had
use that in meetings.
No, we had dirt that built up on this thing that looked like a swastika, and then every 40th person would walk in and be like, "What's that?"
What's the deal with the swastika?
We're like, we can't.
Just stop
It's
looking
10 feet
up.
in the air. We're not.
Yeah.
We're not getting soot and putting it up there.
It took me like 30 seconds to clean it.
Right.
I was like, oh, this is easy.
What I'm saying is, I tell people to see if they're paying attention sometimes if I'm talking about a rebrand and we're starting out at 0, right?
Uh-huh.
They're an ops kind of person or a math kind of person. And I go, well, the biggest rebrand of all time was, the swastika. And they're like, what? Kind of like I did just now when you said rape. And I go, what?
Yeah.
I only heard rape, really.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't listening. I was thinking about something to say after.
Yeah.
But
I really stopped you in your tracks.
But that thing of like, oh, okay, he took the opposite of what that meant, and now it forever will be the SS Army and all that stuff. So,
yeah, it ruined it for everybody.
So again, going back to kind of how people interact with each other on a basic level.
Yeah.
We see that now that message means bad.
Mm-hmm. And it causes a big gross feeling in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Awkward.
Oh yeah, I mean, now the worst is when a white power guy comes into this office and he's like, "Hell yeah, buddy."
Where's the swastika?
He's like, "Fuck yeah, I see you got it on your air vent, real subtle, real nice."
Yeah.
And then he winks, and I'm like, "We're not on your team, man."
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I know Eric looks like it, but he's not. It's just a shaved head thing.
Yeah.
It's not. We don't like American History X. You can't two-handed backwards jam Edward Norton. You can't do it.
Did he do that in that movie?
In jeans, yeah.
In jeans.
It's the most unbelievable shit in any movie.
Is he like every other actor who can't play
the curb
at
stomp,
all?
a lot better, like more believable.
A lot more athletic with the curb stomp.
A lot more athletic.
Is he bad? They play.
Yeah,
he played. I
I'm
haven't
just
seen
gonna
it in a
throw
long
movies
time.
that you haven't
I haven't
seen
seen
or
it in
watched
so
a
long,
lot.
but I'm trying to remember if he played basketball. Was it like the weird, awkward, just
I think
actor? The one thing actors can't do is act like they're athletic.
What do you think he is? 5'8"?
I have no
5'9"?
idea. I always assume they're always like 5'6".
Well, he's jacked, right? He's got like Tom Cruise jacked. Those guys that are shorter can get jacked a lot easier.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know what that is, but
well, lots of times arm length. Think about having to push weight a lot closer. Like if you're,
I have T-Rex arms.
If you're bench pressing, you literally have to push the weight not as far as maybe I would.
Oh no,
like you're doing less work.
I can do. I could do 300 on bench, but I could be so soft everywhere else because I got T-Rex arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be tough to do some rows.
Rows are tough.
Benching 300 right now?
I could do one power set. I'm pretty soft right now, but as far I've been trying to do reps, a lot of reps.
Yeah.
You gotta.
It's all about the posture. Don't worry about that heavy weight.
I'm just making sure you don't have an error message on the production one over there.
What do you think you see? Stay focused. Hey, what lessons did we learn yesterday? We started to talk about that.
Well, here's the thing. One of us messed up on the audio, and that's fine. And my thing is always like, I'm not mad. It's an accident.
Yeah.
But you know those people that get pissed. I think that's the lesson. If we take away anything, it's like, call it working in call it collaboration, call it maybe you're a manager.
Right.
You've become that dick manager that you said you never were going to be.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're delegating out. A lot of people use Upwork and other like gig economy style ways to get their brand going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you need to make a website. You'll go on there, maybe hire someone in Indonesia, but you don't know how to project manage really.
Yeah.
And you crack the whip because you think that's how a lot of guys get rich.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's just a bad management style, I think. I think you can get more out of people, but if they honestly make a mistake, I don't get the people that are like, fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, the anger thing is like.
Now, it happens 5 times in a row, then we gotta figure this out.
Yeah, then you could be angry at somebody's incompetence if they're just straight up neglecting what you've maybe told them to do or whatever process they're supposed to do. But most of the time, getting angry is nothing but badness, just bringing the negativity into the situation and adding on to the pile of shit.
The good thing about doing a 33-minute podcast is it's not. Look, if it was 3 hours, that's another thing. But like,
Right, we got up there. We were like, we're gonna fucking
basically
get in
just
here.
had lunch with Matt Fernandez.
Right.
The way I look at it. And
Well, we also got some stuff done. We got some. John Paul did do some nice video footage of us.
Right.
Gets a little sizzle reel going. We talked about the script that we're punching up with Matt. So we got some stuff done.
But yeah, two separate kind of gigs. I mean, this is a passion project until it starts making money. So you can't really get mad at anybody doing anything
Right.
unless it's like repeating just the same shit and it's really wasting everybody's time. But for the most part, all he does is add value and, you know, in an in-kind kind of way uses the office. I think that's kind of our kind of mutual relationship as far as not being able to pay.
Yeah,
Right?
I would want to be clear, you know, like a lot of this stuff that's been set up for the podcast, I've done personally, and
It's patchwork.
I take responsibility. I should have checked it.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm normally like run a test on the audio, whatever, make sure everything's up and good. And when we have a guest, it's just like,
Right.
all right, I don't want to make this guy sit here and watch me, do all this stuff. So let's just get it going.
We're trying to rent the studio out to a lot of people that I try to explain to my dad. And he's like, I don't understand why. And I'm like, well, it's wasted square footage if, we're not here all the time. And he's like, well, you can't sublease it, right? I'm like, why did you just jump to that? But I'm like, no, they can just be
It's not
retainer clients. And one of us will be here when they're doing it. So as a producer. So
right. It's not like a sublease. It's a,
but,
rental. I don't even
but
know
then
what
I
you
was
would
like,
call
didn't
it.
you figure out how to listen to ours? How do you not get it?
Yeah.
So it was an odd conversation. He hit a hole in one yesterday, though. So I
Whoa,
let it
really?
slide. Yeah, in a tournament too.
Did he win a car? Well, you just lost about 6 inches.
He I just hit my chair. He was in a Masters tournament playing, and on the course he plays every Saturday, Sunday, basically, and hit a hole in one.
Wow.
Yeah, and then they give you a bottle of bourbon or whiskey, and you basically have to. You don't get to drink it on your own. You have to share it with everybody.
Oh, I love the hole-in-one rules. Is hey, guess what? You're now paying for everything tonight.
I forgot about
fuckface.
that.
Yeah.
Right, no, they gave him $500, but that went away. He probably lost money after you have to buy everybody around.
Yeah.
Because it's the Masters Day, too. So everybody's playing or
Yeah.
everybody's watching.
Everybody's into golf.
I didn't know it started early. I was going to put it on in here, and then I didn't know they.
I know. My dad texted me Tiger won. I was like,
It's the
what?
only tournament I'll watch.
I was like, what?
It's the only one I give a shit
I know.
about. I don't know why.
I like the majors. They're nice on a Sunday. Nice background noise.
Right. It's not.
Calming.
We finished doing our work earlier than I thought, so I was like, maybe I'll put this on, and then.
And
Anyway.
it's over.
So what do we learn? Like, what do you learn from taking a mulligan, right? We had a do-over, and so I never get mad if someone is trying to do something. Like someone they borrow your car, and then something it gets scraped,
Yeah.
right? And I'm never like, what the fuck? But if that friend borrowed your car a lot and it always came back with something fucked up on
Yeah.
it, then you get to have a fist fight with your buddy. But like, other than that, if the intention is good, I'm not going to get pissed.
I know. I don't understand people that they can't take the time to think about the intention of things. It's like most people are not trying to go around and fuck everything up.
Right, well, there is a very self-preservation part of life, right? A lot of
Right.
people think, hey, man, you got to fuck that person before they fuck you.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the
Yeah.
hell? And I think a lot of people put their guard up when conflict happens, and they go and they take it personally, too.
Yeah.
Did you take it personally
it's me.
yesterday?
No.
Right.
I took responsibility personally.
Right. You did the head coach thing. I do this, too.
Yeah.
Maybe too far that way, because that's how you're either you're raised or you kind of apply that early on in your life where, you see these post-game interviews is like, look, I take full responsibility for our kicker missing a 45-yard field goal.
Even though it's his only job.
Even though
and
Robbie
he practices
Gould
it
should have
all
hit
day,
it.
And I don't know what the hell his problem is.
We shouldn't have been that. Well, but I always like it. If they really care, I always think they say, we shouldn't have been in that position to have to kick the field goal anyway.
Right.
And so I feel like part of me thinks the way you were thinking, like, oh man, we should have your H4n as a second shooter, or we should have a drop down mic by now that I've been talking about for years, and we should have a drop down mic that just has for meetings.
Yeah,
anyway.
I was gonna say for meetings would be good.
And so part of me was like, man, I should have set this room up a little bit better for conferences too, and that would have solved that problem in a way.
I mean, yeah,
but at
it's
the
all
same time,
little changes that this place looks different every time we come in.
It's getting better.
We're getting just little tiny steps.
We had entrepreneur Ed Keels in here on Friday. He's gonna get his podcast going in here, and he was like blown away. And I'm like, hey man, I'm not satisfied. And he was like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I was like, good. No, but he gets it.
Good.
Because he's not satisfied either. He's 65 and wants to start a podcast.
That's awesome. I love that.
And I go, look, you have so much wisdom that we'll have him on soon. But I was like, you have so much wisdom to impart. We'll handle the other stuff for you. You just need to get on and talk.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, we've got the knowledge of getting these things up and going so much that it's like almost mean not to help the people. It's like we could totally be like, nope.
It's kind of like
Figure
doing
it out.
stand-up
Here's your
jokes.
file.
Well, it's kind of like doing stand-up jokes. You hate all your jokes, and then you do them, and then it's like, oh, for the audience, they don't know that you've done this a bunch of times, and you hate them.
I know.
To them, sometimes it's awesome.
Yeah.
And then
It's a faint 2-minute warning.
sometimes, sometimes you're doing food truck pun jokes, like like a master, like I am. I'm not gonna do them. 2 girls.
We'll just pretend like you did do it.
2 girls in a coffee truck, and they man it. It's called 2 Girls, 1 Cup of Coffee.
I knew it before you said it.
You've heard it.
Nope.
You haven't heard that one?
I could have just seen where that was going. You start out with 2 girls.
Well,
it always ends with a cup.
I do 3 of them, and then that one's in the middle, so you're not really thinking that way. Yeah.
I got
I
it.
just throw you on.
Yeah.
So my thing was, we're getting more interesting people in here, hopefully better guests. And
those last guests. That's what it sounds like.
No, better
we love
guests.
all our guests.
We need to market this show, aforementioned email marketing through Squarespace's email product. I need to write a little bit more content. All these things are doable. It's on the to-do list. Don't get overwhelmed.
It really is so easy. So it's something that we could
Wake up early like this and write it out, and before anybody's awake, then I have no excuse, right?
I did do a sponsor. I ran an Instagram ad with when we had our Jinx moment.
Ooh,
I chopped that up.
How much?
It's been running.
How much do you push?
It was. I think we spent.
For those listening, when you promote a post or boost a post, that technically is an ad. I just always want to clarify. Well,
if you're paying money,
no one knows that.
Yeah. No, I mean it's
organic is no pay. And
no pay.
They're trying to lead you in, Facebook and Instagram, which is just Facebook really. They're trying to lead you in with that boosted post, promoted post.
Yeah.
That's how they get you with $5. Start learning.
They get you a little bit.
Learning.
And they say, hey, look how good this did.
And you might have early on success with it because they can manipulate that.
Yeah.
Your first time doing it? Ooh.
Yeah. I hadn't done a lot of Instagram stuff, but it looks like I think it's done pretty good.
Yeah, we need to steal an intern from 208 Monkeys Across the Hall for our YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
We got no views on there.
Yeah, well, it's backup. That's what we're talking about.
What about my sweat equity?
Thanks for listening.
Sweat equity.
We did it.
Stick around for the post roll. How you can help this
How
podcast
much my
out.
sweat equity?
SweatEquityPod.com. What else you want?
It'll be
Only
on the
one from
post
me.
roll.
Yeah. I forgot about the post roll.
What about my sweat equity?